Okay, Derek, Lily, Ron, I'm Mikey. What's your name?
Ventris
and
Jay.
So, kind of, I mean, the whole point of Talkaoke is kind of up to you what you want to talk about. We've got something thrown in by Ron, which is the fight. Do we want to talk about the fight? Or do we? Anything on this side? What? Are you happy to talk about the fight? Have you got something? What's that?
What fight?
Okay, we'll have to explain this a little bit more. Can you explain about the fight a little bit, Ron?
I don't know who he was facing, but Conor McGregor got jumped.
Okay, but what is? Oh, you mentioned it as well. What is cage fighting?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's no in a cage.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Do you watch it?
Not really. I just heard about it yesterday.
Okay.
Because the fight kicked off at the end.
Okay, so it was a talking point. You didn't actually watch it yourself. Did you watch the fight? Yeah. Come and tell us about it, because we're lacking information a little bit here. Yeah. Okay, so. Come closer. Come. You're a bit far away there. Come. And we didn't get your name. What's your name? Elam. Okay. Well, we're just going to park the fight for a minute and let's just have a look, Rick, if we can. Can we go through what the visuals we've got today? Come and have a seat. This is Talkaoke. It's a pop-up talk show. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about. You've got Ron, you've got Lily, you've got Derek, and Ventris and Jay, and Elam over here. Rick, can we go through some of the images we've got so far? Is that okay? Okay, so the first thing we started off with, like this whole thing about where are you from? Is it curiosity? Is it some people get offended by this question? Should people get offended by it? So that was the first subject. Then it was about are we welcoming enough to people that come to this country from other countries? And then we got this thing, are we blinkered? Do we know what's going on in other countries? Have we got blinkers on? And this is like, what is that man wearing? Like horse blinkers? Is that what it is? Okay, yeah. Then there's like the fear of the outside, and I think that's where we got to so far. But right now, on the table, we've got this subject of the fight. You're not interested in fighting?
I'm not interested in fighting because I think we have enough violence already.
Why do you think people watch fights?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's the same with those murder mysteries again. I don't know.
Yeah.
I live alone, so I don't need any extra fear.
Yeah.
And I say watching someone fight someone makes me afraid.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so it actually increases the fear.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Did you watch the fight? No.
I don't agree with fighting anyway.
What about fighting on TV when it's in a controlled environment, like a cage fight?
When I see that, it sort of makes me frightened. I wonder. I don't even like to see women boxing or fighting. And when I see it, I think it's too rough.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You don't. Okay. So, fighting this side, people are not that into fighting. Does it actually make people more scared to have fighting? Derek, did you watch the fight?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, did you enjoy watching the fight?
I enjoyed it, but it's sports.
Yeah?
Yeah, you have to enjoy it.
I mean, what do you get out of watching two men fight each other?
I don't know, it's kind of a hype, but where it is, like you said, a controlled environment, it's more safe. So
it's a kind of sport. Is it like the kind of idea of who's going to win? Yeah.
What the problem here is?
Yeah.
It's maybe a sex issue.
Yeah.
Men are into fighting because maybe they like to see someone else beat someone else up. Women are not.
Yeah.
I'm not into it.
Okay.
I'm just not into it.
Okay.
I don't want to see someone beaten up.
Okay. All right, Lily, do you agree with that? Do you think men like to watch other men beat another man up?
Yes.
Yes.
Sometimes, yeah.
But why? What do you get out of watching one man beat another man up?
It's just a hype. It's fun.
It's fun. Okay.
But it's
okay. Are you into watching one man beat another man up? That's what we're asking about here. And is it just men that are into seeing one man? Ron?
Well, you actually learn how to self-defense yourself instead of just cower in fear from everyone else.
Okay, so it's also you can learn how to better defend yourself by watching these fights.
Yeah.
So you can sort of get techniques. Did you watch the fight? What did you say?
I think we should change the topic.
Why do you want to change the topic?
No one's interested.
Okay. What are we going to change the topic to? I mean, I don't know. I think are you interested in talking about why men like watching other men fight?
No, I don't. You know why? It reminds me of watching porno.
Yeah.
Men that watch porno are lousy lovers because there's nothing learned from it.
Right.
And this young man said that he learns to protect himself. I don't think you do.
Okay, well that's an interesting
I
point.
don't think you do.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
just...
So in a way, is watching boxing or fighting on TV a bit like the sort of fighting equivalent of watching a porno, but it's not very instructive in the end.
I think they're quite two different things. It's not just men who watch boxing and fighting. Women also.
Do you watch?
No, I don't watch it. I think the game matches are a little bit too long for me, and I don't really get it.
Yeah.
But women engage in that as well. Women watch it, and there's female boxing as well, isn't there?
Okay, and where do you stand on Ventress's point about
boxing being like porn? I would definitely disagree.
Okay.
Yeah. My husband is. I'm not trying to put him down, but he watches it faithfully.
Yeah.
Has it made him a better lover? Has it made him more intuitive? No. All you do is you watch for the sake of watching to keep yourself busy. Huh?
Yeah.
But what you gain? Have you seen the movie Ali?
The movie Ali?
Yeah, two-thirds of it's a boxing.
Right.
So what do you gain from that? Did you learn about Muhammad Ali by watching
So you don't think it actually showed the best aspect of Muhammad Ali?
No.
Okay, this is a good point.
Yeah.
What do you think? Have you seen the film Ali? Does it show the right aspect of Muhammad Ali? What do you think on this side? We are actually talking about boxing, but we're talking about a boxer now, Muhammad Ali, probably the most legendary boxer. Are we seeing the right side of him? Is it about the boxing or is it about something else? What's that?
I think it's a money thing.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it's more to do with money.
What do you mean by that?
Because there's a big pot, isn't there? Everyone's betting on which one is going to win, and there's a big pot out of it, isn't there? Money.
So is it about money?
It's also damaging. It can be future damaging.
So people are damaging each other for money.
Muhammad Ali, he was bigger than the boxing. It was what he represented. It kind of goes back to the whole civil rights thing. He had a voice and he used it and he spoke up for something that he believed in. So it's bigger than just the boxing, I think.
Okay, so Muhammad Ali sort of came into the spotlight because of his boxing, but then he used that spotlight for something bigger.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I'd say it was opposite the money because he sacrificed sponsorships and stuff like that by changing his name and speaking out in a time that was very difficult to really speak out about certain things. So
For him it was that, and for most of the old school boxers. But for today, it's all a money thing.
Okay, is there an equivalent to Muhammad Ali now? No?
No.
You don't think so? What's
Anthony Joshua, he's not just there for the money. He's there for career-wise, to be an example, a role model. Yeah.
Okay, so there is that role model effect. We're talking about Muhammad Ali. Do you know him? No.
Equivalent today, you got Colin Kaepernick. He's kneeling. He's doing a similar thing that Muhammad Ali does.
Tell us a little bit about Colin Kaepernick.
He's the basketball. What sport is it? Is it baseball or the NFL?
Yeah.
Whatever that is, the NFL. He kneels. When the American national anthem is playing, it's like a protest thing.
Yeah.
So he's doing the same thing. He's really sacrificing, a lot to do that. I'm sure it's not easy doing something like that. So, I say that that's like an equivalent.
Have you heard of Colin Kaepernick on this side? What do you think of him? Is he a role model?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know too much about him though.
Okay.
But yeah.
Do you know about Colin Kaepernick?
I
do. Yeah?
I know that you can take whatever you're in and make it a statement.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. Most of the time, even with Muhammad Ali, it was about money and fame. Because he said some pretty derogatory things to his opponents.
Yeah.
They were black and ugly, and I didn't like that part of the film.
Right.
When we go around as blacks calling each other nigger, that's wrong.
Yeah.
That is wrong. I will not condone that.
Yeah. Okay.
Just as she just said, when you go around calling each other nigger, I feel bad when someone calls their own people nigger. It's really insulting. You can't insult your own.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's rude. Very rude.
All right. So some aspects of Muhammad Ali are wrong, and maybe they've put something, bad into the culture. Is it right for black people to call each other N-words?
No, it's not.
No.
And it's in all the songs.
Yeah.
I hate the songs.
Yeah.
I would never, ever use that word because it was a derogatory word.
Yeah.
And it is still a derogatory word.
Do you think it's about a kind of lack of knowledge of history that people are happy?
No. When a man calls another man a bitch, what is he saying to that man?
Yeah.
What is he saying?
Okay. Well, I'm going to put that around the table. What? Yeah. Okay. What would you say he's saying?
I know what he's saying. He's saying that the man
Yeah.
is worse than any woman out there.
Yeah. Okay.
Women don't put down men as much as men put us down.
Right.
About 500 words for a prostitute, aren't there?
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess we're talking about using of like the word of words, derogatory words. Is it acceptable to use that? Ventura says no, and that under no circumstances it's not acknowledging the history if you do that. What do you think on this side of the table? Lily?
I don't think it's acceptable, obviously.
Yeah.
But people use it not to offend other people these days.
Yeah.
They just say it like it's just, I don't know.
So they're not necessarily being offensive?
No, like, you don't have to, like, I know it sounds rude, but
Yeah.
like, you don't really mean it in offence.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? But
Is it,
I don't
is
agree
it about
with it.
how it's meant?
No, of course not. I don't agree with it,
Yeah.
but I'm saying, like,
People do use it
people
when they
do
say
use
it,
yeah.
yeah.
But not in an offensive way, but obviously it looks offensive. Like, it
Okay.
does sound.
Well, that's Lily over there.
I've got no comment to make.
Okay. Yeah.
Listen, if the Queen came up and made this speech,
Yeah.
and she said, "Oh, all of us honkies are getting on each other's nerves," wouldn't you be offended? Wouldn't you be offended? Huh?
I don't know.
Yeah, I bet you would if the Queen said it.
I personally don't think I would.
Look, as a queen who is supposed to be, for us, so an example, and who reigns over, well, she shouldn't be saying that because she's got the mixed race family member that has joined the royal. Yeah, so it's not good.
Okay. I mean, what would you say? How do you feel if the Queen used this terminology, or if the Queen said "bitch," "yo bitch"? Would it be offensive? I don't know. Come on.
It depends how you take it as a person.
Yeah.
It does. It would depend on how you take it as a person.
It's kind of how you take it. You can just take it as a bit of a joke.
You can, yeah, but obviously some people don't like it.
They'll probably say she's the same as everyone else because the Queen is supposed to set an example to everybody. She's supposed to be higher than them. She's not supposed to be doing them.
Queen use that kind of language, it'll be clear that she's definitely got Alzheimer's and she's on her way out. She's on her way out. That's
Okay. So I guess we're talking about, we've got this visual here that Rick's made. We're talking about role models. Is the Queen a good role model? Is Muhammad Ali a good role model? Muhammad Ali has been very rude to his opponents. He's been, in a way, racist to his opponents. And the Queen, come and have a seat. Come and join in. What do you think? Is the Queen a good role model for you? Do you look up to the Queen? We'll come talk about it. There's no age limit on Talkaoke, so I guess we're talking about the Queen and Muhammad Ali, two role models. What do you think? Do you see either of these people as role models?
Yeah.
Or Conor McGregor? Do you see him as a role model?
No. Not really.
No. Okay.
No, not really.
Okay. No.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
No, I don't see the Queen as a role model because I don't see her shopping in Primark.
Yeah.
So no.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I need to see somebody on my level.
Yeah. Who do you think is a good role model?
What, now?
Yeah.
Where, here?
Yeah.
Well, I'm having a problem with that because their financial level is considerably higher than mine.
Yeah.
All right.
So someone that's got a lot of money is not necessarily a good role model?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Let me just pass this around. What do you think of the idea of role models? Who's a good role model?
I think the term role model is a bit corny.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit corny.
So you don't really subscribe to the idea of role model?
I just think it's one of these terms that's been just chucked around, and it's just like I just find it very corny. I think people's role models are their parents. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
You can look up to someone and be inspired by someone, but role model, people are people, and I don't think it's healthy for people to have celebrities or people other than their parents.
Well, I think that's really what Ventress is saying as well. That if someone's got a lot of money, who's come and have a seat at the table? No. More young people. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. What's that?
Flowing your pearls before swine.
Sorry. Anyway, we're talking about role models. Come and have a seat.
I did.
What do you think about role models? Some people.
Well, I didn't. Listen, it was assumed that you thought your parents were role models.
Yeah.
Mine weren't. They were in some ways, but they weren't in other ways.
In what ways were they not role models?
Well, my dad was a minister, so he insisted that we go to church.
Right.
But we kept looking at his actions at home.
Right.
And if you terrify your children, that's not God in love, is it?
Right. Okay, so he wasn't literally practicing what he preached.
I told you that before.
Yeah.
I said if half of Lewisham, or where am I now?
Stratford, yeah.
Practiced what they preached,
yeah,
we would have a different society.
Okay. So
we can all say we're role models, but at the end of the day, are we always going to be that role model and stay as a good example?
I mean, is it too much to ask for someone to be consistently a role model? You can be. Okay, we've got you face to the table. What's your name?
Trevor.
We got Ron, we got Lily, we got Derek, we got Ellum and Ventress and Jay, and I'm Mike here. At the moment, we started talking about Muhammad Ali. Is he a good role model? Ventress says no, actually, he's not, because he was really just a fighter, and he was actually quite derogatory to other black people, and he was in it for the money. And then we started talking about the Queen. Is the Queen a good role model? Ventress says no, because she's got loads of money. She can't relate to her.
She lives long because she's got the money.
Okay.
I would live to that age if I had that money.
Yeah.
And it means she doesn't have the stress I have. She's not raising her children on her own.
I do hope that you do live that long, Ventress. But I just want to point, Ellum's point was that we don't really, the only role models we need or have are our parents. So that's where we are with this conversation. Do we even need role models?
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. There's my mum and dad on my arm.
Do you think they're the best role models in a way?
They were my best role models, and I would not put anything on my skin.
Yeah.
Unless they meant something to me.
Yeah.
And trust me.
Okay.
They mean.
But what about people whose parents are not perfect role models? What do we do in that situation?
I think what it is, you can be inspired by different aspects of people. I think it's important to teach children that, people are human and people make mistakes. So, that's it really.
We've got actually the Queen shopping here in Primark. So maybe she could be more relatable now. Yeah.
For £3. But listen, the Queen is a lovely person. I'm glad she's lived. What age is she now?
I don't know. Yeah.
How old is she?
Yeah.
What do you think? Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
Why do you think someone is too old?
Okay. Well, I mean.
You didn't say that, did you? He did. He just said that.
Too old. I guess it means too old to have to worry about all the stately duties. Maybe she should retire and just enjoy her life a bit more, rather than opening things and stuff like that. I think that's what you meant, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Yeah. What?
It's not about age, isn't it? The Queen, you said, what do you saying? She's too old.
Yeah.
There's people out there, whether they've got money or not, they look healthy.
Yeah.
So it's not about money all the time.
Do you think we're a little bit kind of, we look down on people, or we have got a strange attitude to older people that sometimes we just think they're kind of for the scrap heap when they get above a certain age? That's what I found out in the nightclub the other night.
You know, I think maybe it's just this country, but you know, when I go to other countries, you know, where was I? You know, I was in Japan earlier this year, Spain, and I just find that you just see like older people just walking around, you know, they're cycling, they're just very much up smiling, they're very much a part of the society, you know, they're respected, they're not just like shoved to one side. And I think in this country, old people are just like, once they hit a certain age, they're just like forgotten about, they're seen as like a nuisance. And I think that's really, it's something that I find it very sad.
Do we give enough respect to old people? Yeah,
I don't think they're forgotten about. I think that, well,
hang on,
by family members who don't value them, okay, yes, but I think that if they were looking after themselves, yeah, they can still do the things they used to do. I mean, it's about how you live your life. So
it's about how they value themselves as well.
I mean, when you get to a certain age, when you get to a certain age, you don't have to give up on yourself.
Yeah.
It's not about giving up on yourself, but as society here, everything is aimed at anybody under 35. Everything, all the shows, all the fashion.
Yeah.
Under 25.
Okay.
I go to even to Primark, and you can't find anything in my size.
Right. Okay.
That looks like me. So what must I dress like? An 18-year-old?
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me bring in Trevor, because Trevor's been. What do you think of this? Are we respecting old people enough, or is it old people themselves that yeah?
When my mum and dad was alive back in the days, they worshipped the Queen.
Yeah.
Worship the Queen, love the Queen, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the day,
hang on.
At the end, like we're talking about Jamaica, she sort of introduced.
Yeah.
I don't know how to word it, but at the end of the day, there was a link.
Yeah.
There was a link.
So you think hang on a sec. Let's just get the point that Trevor was going to make.
She linked both colours of the nation together, as in the English and the Jamaican, the Caribbean.
Yeah. So she brought everyone together. Okay.
One country, one union.
Yeah.
No, I'm from here, East London.
No. You're saying she made us into one? Did you know Northerners don't talk to Southerners?
Okay.
Huh?
All right. Okay. So
just in the same city.
Okay. Do we? Hang on a sec, Ventures. Too many questions. Let me spread it out to Lily. There is a question. Has the Queen unified us? Trevor says yes. Ventress says no. But you had a point, didn't you, Lily? What were you going to say?
I forgot the point.
We were talking about whether we respect old people.
Well, the thing is, we would like. I think older people don't show much respect to younger people as well.
Okay,
you know
so it's a two-way street.
Example, if you see like two boys walking on the street wearing a tracksuit, you'll look at them and give them a dirty look instantly. No?
Yeah.
Instantly, you'll stereotype and instantly give them a dirty look, so there's no respect going on there.
Okay, so
then it won't work out both ways. You're not respecting them, they're not going to respect you. No one's going to respect no one.
Okay, all right, so we're talking about whether we respect old people enough, but do old people respect young people enough? That's what we're talking. Come on.
They make young people.
Yeah. Hang on a sec, Ellen. What's that? Okay, so we've got Ron, and we've got Lily, we've got Derek, we've got Ellen. What's your name?
Chantel,
and we've got Ventris and Jay and Trevor. And my name's Mikey. At the moment, we're sort of talking. It's kind of like a two-way thing. There's a thing about the Queen, and she's got quite old now, and should she really retire? Is she unifying the nation? But then there's also the question about whether we actually respect old people, and are they actually, do we sort of kind of forget about them, cast them aside because they're old? And then Lily's brought in this thing, maybe older people are not respecting younger people.
Who do you mean?
Yeah.
When you say old people, who do you mean?
Yeah. I don't know.
When you say old people, I'm old people.
Yeah. Well, I'm old as well these days, I would say.
I'm a very mature person.
Yeah.
I've gone past 50.
Yeah. I mean, it's different for different people. When you say old people, what sort of age are you talking about?
Like older.
Like, give us a number.
Like over 40 and 50. Like
over 40.
older.
Okay.
Yeah, like over 40, over 50. Yeah.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Yeah. I mean, what do you think about this thing? What do you think? Are we respecting old people? Are there old people respecting younger people?
I think it's a two-way street, and I think that young people do need to respect the elders, the older people.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes they don't, because they think that they're old enough and they're mature enough not to value what they're saying. Because I've experienced where I've spoken to a younger person and they blatantly are rude. But however, if their mum was and their dad was around, they would not behave like that. So I guess it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
You know, I think I agree with what you were saying before. I think some older people, they don't respect young people as well. They have an attitude where they're all like dangerous and to be fed. I think there's a lot of fears from, you know,
so
both
we're back
sides.
to the fear thing in a way.
Yeah, I think so. I think young people, they don't know how to communicate with older people, and old people don't know how to communicate with young people. So I think there's something that's happened in the society where there's this lack of communication. So
and the younger generation believe that they should have, and they have rights, and they forget that without their parents and the older generation, they wouldn't be here.
Okay. All right. So what were you going to say, Jane?
I'm just going to say, like, it all starts from home. Respect. You respect your mother, you respect your father, you learn respect along the way. Elders should be respected, young people, and vice versa. Right? If it's not taught in home, it's not going to happen.
Okay.
I'm saying that.
Because
I don't disrespect my mother. No one disrespects my mother. I don't disrespect older people. I learned from my mother that.
Okay. All right.
That whole thing about like history, you know, I think maybe if like our local history, people's history was valued, then I think people would have more respect for the past. I think, you know,
so they don't realise what those older people have been
you know, the countries that I mentioned before, you know, they definitely have like a respect for like the past, history, nature. They really value that. So I think that's the reason why they kind of have that respect for old people.
Yeah.
And I think what's quite funny nowadays is like there's this whole thing where a lot of people are turning 30 who I know, and people are so depressed. I mean, depressed about it. So I don't know, I feel like there's this attitude about, you know, getting older that's seen as like really negative. Like as soon as you hit 30, that's it, mate.
Okay. So we're talking about are we respecting older people enough? Are older people respecting younger people? Do we think when people come to a certain age they get thrown onto the scrap heap? That's what we're talking about now. What's this?
Well, I'm just asking the question, why do you think that the younger generation don't respect the older generation?
Yeah, Ventures.
Okay, you need to go to an African church.
Yeah.
If you go to an African church, you went to the one in I get Deptford and Dartford mixed up. Dartford.
Yeah.
The younger people bow to the older.
Right.
It's ingrained in their culture.
Yeah.
We need to do that with our children.
Right.
Why not?
Okay. Well, we've got a new face at the table. We've got Lily, we've got Ellen, we've got Chantel, we've got Ventris, Jay, Trevor. What's your name?
Name is not important. The question is important. The question is important. I'm a very old person.
Yeah.
I'm a very old person. You're talking about me, is it?
Yeah, I mean, do you feel respected?
I don't want to be respected. No.
You don't want to be? Why?
I'm equal.
But doesn't that mean respect? Doesn't equal mean respect?
I'm equal.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Come and have a seat on the table of chat. You know you want to. Come and get involved in this. So we're talking about. But does equality equal respect? Trevor, are you off?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you got a final thought for us?
Yeah. I was brought up back in the days with this.
Yeah. Okay. What? Oh, with the belt. Okay, I was getting a bit worried there. What was going on there?
Yeah.
But
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
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 It worked.
Okay, so you think there should be more beating with the belts? Okay.
Just a belt.
Okay. Okay, come and have a seat on the table of chat. We haven't got this man's name. We've got Lily, we've got Ellen, we've got Chantel, Ventris, and Jay. I'm Mikey. What's your name?
Safe.
Was it Safe?
Safe, yeah.
So at the moment there's a few subjects on the table. It's about, in a way, respect. Are we respecting older people? Everyone's kind of agreed that everyone's equal around the table, but does that mean does equal mean respect? This is what we're talking about at the moment. You say no.
I say you need to show respect to your elders.
Yeah. Do you think they're equal?
No.
Or do you think they're sort of
That's
better?
not the issue. The issue is you give respect to your elders because they brought you here.
Right.
And they went through hell. Well, my parents did when they first came from Jamaica to this country. So you give them the respect as an older person, and then they will give it back to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It depends on the person. I think it depends on the person, on the adult, because some adults are just ridiculous. I'll be honest with you. I've experienced it myself in my family with like my father, brothers, and my dad not hearing my brothers out, and my brothers not hearing my brothers out, and then it causes a divide. So I think it goes both ways. And my parents are from a Jamaican background, and it's not very nice at all.
All right, so it cuts both ways. It's a two-way street. It's often been said. We've got this picture that Rick's made. Rick's visualising the conversation as we go on. This is the grandparents being thrown onto the scrap heap. But I mean, Ruby, look at the TV screen. It's off. That's what I was saying. Yes. Okay. So
I kind of feel like, respect. I feel like there is a certain way that you need to speak to older people that you wouldn't necessarily speak to people your same age. So I do think that older people, they should be respected, But I do feel like if we see everyone as equals, I think that would create a sort of better society.
Okay, so we do need to see each other as equal more. Come and have a seat. We have got. Are you off, Lily? Give us a final thought if you're gone. Safe, have you got a view on any of this?
Respect is important, regardless of your status, right?
Yeah.
As a disabled person, right?
Yeah.
I respect the elders or anyone younger to me. So I'd expect the same thing in return.
Yeah.
Regardless of me being disabled or not.
Yeah.
I'd expect the same.
Do you think disabled people are respected enough?
Not all the time, no. Not all the time. I think there's a lot of prejudice out there.
Right.
Stereotypes. There's a lot of stereotype, out there as well. And I think it's because there aren't many disabled people out and about.
Right.
And that's the problem.
Okay, so people are not used to seeing disabled people, so they don't know how to respond. Okay, there's a few different subjects where we can different directions we could go. Do we want to talk about respect? Do we want to talk about equality, prejudice? Are all these things connected in some way? We've got a new face to the table. What's your name?
Chef.
Yeah. Where do we want to take this conversation? Are we lacking a sense of equality? Are we respecting all the different people that move through this shopping centre, through our country? And if we're not, how could we actually how could we actually improve that? Let me just.
I think it's just through education, because through my working life and my studying life, I've learned that there's a way to address a disabled person. There's a way to address a person that suffers from like a mental disability or an adult or a child, and how to make sure that they feel respected. And
what are the sort of kind of touch points, the basics for that?
Just to be able to speak to them like they're human, realise that they're actually human and not animals, and to treat them on a level that you would like to be treated on. It's like if I've got a 7-year-old daughter, and if I was to not listen to her when she was saying to me, "Mummy, I'm not happy about this," or "Mummy, this is wrong," then what kind of person am I, really?
Yeah. So it's also about listening to people.
Back to just equality, seeing people as equals. And also as well, I think it comes to there's a lot around like visibility and stuff. I think on television and in the media, you don't see enough like older people on TV. You don't see enough people with disabilities on television or in show. I mean, it's getting better now, but so I think that's sometimes where people. Yeah, I think there's room for improvement there.
Yeah. Okay. Chef, have you got a point? Because you've sat down. What do you think about all of this?
Well, one of the most important things is when somebody is disabled, they're still human. And I believe a young man like this...
Yeah, it's safe, yeah.
He's got a good brain. Why the hell isn't he in the Houses of Parliament making rules for other people? That's where somebody like that...
I don't know. Do you want to be in the Houses of Parliament? Would you like
Why not? I can be.
Yeah. Do you think that there needs to be a...
Given the opportunity? Would he be given the opportunity?
Yeah.
Up to now, no.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Okay. I'm going to say one at a time. I'm getting a bit confused here. So, I mean, Chef has just made the point. And what about more disabled people in the House of Parliament? It's about visibility, representation. Chantel, I'm just going to just because it's kind of addressed at you. What do you think about this? Do you think there should be more disabled people in the House of Parliament?
Yeah, of course.
Would that help the kind of question of visibility?
There should be. So it comes down to access as well. I mean, people look at access. People look at government funding. A lot of disabled people need support.
Yeah.
And since the government are cutting so much funding, it's hard for disabled people to get out there to find the same job as any non-disabled person.
So it's actually to be visible. You actually need support to get out there and get in people's faces. Okay. So let me, Chef. I'm just going to spread this around. I'll come back to you in a second.
Well, look at it. If he had opportunity, why can't he be the next mayor of London? We won't. Because I tell you this, why not? Because he doesn't fit the profile. TV is into profiles. Yeah.
Do you think so? Anyway, let me go Chantel, you had something to say, or is it gone now?
I'll come back.
Okay. So I guess we're talking about questions of equality, of respect, of like how do we have a world where we kind of people are more.
You mentioned accessibility. That is the easiest problem because they all have chauffeur-driven limousines.
Okay, so actually, if you were a politician, the access problems would all disappear. So, we've got a point now.
What I'm saying is, a Blanket was a blind person. He was a Home Secretary. The question...
David Blanket?
Yes. Yeah. He was blind, but he was a Home Secretary.
Yeah.
So that's what question of that now. The question is, society is there's inequality built in the society, and the richest, if a young man, he get respect from the older because he got the money.
Right. So you think it's about, in a way, people get respect when they've got money?
Yeah. And this business of old, they don't get respect if they're on the dole.
Yeah.
If the son is bringing the money, he gets the respect. The old mummy doesn't get it.
So you're saying it's about money and about who's got money. Do we agree with that? Do we think we've got a new face at the table? What's your name?
No, my name is Visitation. I'm from a different country. I'm Visitation.
Okay.
Lawless.
Okay. I mean, do you agree with this question about is equality in the end down to money, down to the distribution of money, as this man over here says?
If everybody had the same amount of wealth, everybody would have a much, much better life. But they don't.
Yeah. Would it solve the problems about respecting old people and younger people, or respecting disabled people?
Yes, it would, because they would have the financial ability to overcome disrespect. They would be respected then.
Okay. I mean,
I agree and disagree with what you're saying, because now there's a lot more opportunities. Because I come from a family where we weren't loaded. My parents came over here from Jamaica. They worked really hard. I ended up going to college, going to school around here, then going to school in Essex for my secondary life, then going on to college, then going on to university, and then on to my masters. So I don't believe that the opportunities are not out there, and I can do whatever I want. I've got the choice.
So you think it's more about opportunities than about the equal distribution of wealth?
I don't think it's got everything. Money does play a factor, but I think it is more readily available if you want to go that way. If you want it, then you can get it, but if you don't want it, you ain't going to get it.
Okay. Well,
to some degree, I disagree with that. I mean, how many Oprah Winfreys do we have in England?
Not many.
All right.
Yeah.
How many?
Well,
name one.
Yeah.
No, why?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
No, why?
Oprah Winfrey type people. I guess you're talking
why not? Why not? Well, have you seen what a woman really makes? I mean, I was a secretary for 30-something years, and yet a boy can go out and in one day make more than what I made probably in 12 years. Do you want to be truthful?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not equal at all.
But I mean,
No, we're not.
If that secretary got paid or you got paid the same as...
I'd probably get hit by a young man that take the money away. I'm honest.
Okay, so what do we think? Is it, yeah?
Oh, I was just going to say there's only one Oprah Winfrey, you know. She's in that 1% of wealthy people.
That's us.
Yeah, but
why is there not a British Oprah Winfrey?
Oh, because the thing is, I mean, why does there need to be a British Oprah Winfrey, you know?
Yeah.
To who? Look.
Okay, all right. So we're going back to the idea of role models. We're going back to the idea of equality. What is going to give us equality? Is it about the role models? Is it about an equality of wealth? Is it about respect? Is it about opportunity? What's going to give us this sense of equality?
I think just people speaking out against injustices, you know, fighting, continuing to fight against injustices, you know, this borough is quite active in that way, you know, you got the Focus E15 mothers campaigning for like social housing and things like that. I mean, it's a slow journey, you know, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a long time to get, you know.
Yeah. Let me come to this. Some of these, because you've been listening to this, and you're like the voice of the younger people here. What do you think, in terms of like, what appeals to you in terms of this idea of equality? Is it about everyone having the same money? Is it about opportunity? Is it about respect? What will give us this more of a sense of equality? What do you think, Derek? Lily, have you got any views?
Not just yet. I'll listen.
Okay, you listen some more. What? Yeah.
I'm so happy to hear that young girl there is now going to go on to do her masters.
Yeah.
That is where everything starts.
Okay, so you think it's about education and having those education.
Yeah.
I think you've already done your masters and you're fully qualified.
I've got to complete it, but I'm fighting to do that. But that will happen because I've got the determination within me. So that's not even a question.
Yeah. I mean, so is it about education, access to education? That's what I think. What you're agreeing on that if we have that access to education.
Education.
Yeah.
Well, I fight about education when I came here.
Yeah.
And I fight Angolia of education.
Yeah.
Why education we want? Why education we don't want? Do you know what I mean? Why education we don't want?
Yeah. So it's about the right education.
The right education, you know. You know, it's like when a child starts school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let me just get a final thought from these people. Have you got a final thought for us before you go? A final thought on this subject before you go. And you haven't said anything either. Have you got an initial thought or a final thought about this question of equality? How do we achieve equality?
Right.
Sit down.
In equality, you only going to achieve it when you realize you're a victim and resurrect yourself.
Okay.
And that's the important rule. Secondly, society where we're living in, you have to think how to change and make it equal.
Yeah.
And if you,
well, I think we're all doing
everything,
that, in a way.
The rest hasn't got it. The person who got it, he's going to exploit you. And he's going to divide you in sexism, all ages. He says a young person, he should get an hour wages less than an older person. So because he's the one who got everything.
So look out for those who are trying to divide you.
Yeah.
I guess I'll take from that. Have you got a final thought or an initial thought?
I think equality comes from equal opportunity.
Okay, so it's about what Chantal said. Okay, thanks very much. Safe. Thank you, thanks very much, and thanks for the coffee as well. So, I mean, what do people think? Safe managed, no one told me. Safe snuck away without anyone telling me. I never got a final thought off of him. But Okay, so where do we want to go with this conversation? I mean, do we kind of like, are we heading towards a more equal world? No, you say no? No. Yeah?
I think we are.
Yeah, you think?
I think we are, because of what the things that are coming out now that never used to come out, like respect for women at work, the gender pay gap.
Yeah.
And all the different issues that there are that have never been highlighted, that have been there, especially like in central London.
So we're heading for the gender pay gap is getting closed.
All right, as long as you have people walking on the streets making less than £20 an hour, that is not equal.
Right.
You understand?
So everyone needs to be earning minimum wage.
No,
to be 20.
no, not minimum wage. That's an illusion.
Yeah.
Because you see, there's the strong and the weak. So you give the weak the money and the strong take it away.
Right.
Huh? You give me maybe £15 an hour, I go home and a friend, I like the word friend, comes over and spends the entire night, uses my food, uses my heat, and does he give me back a dime?
Right.
Well, not dime, pound.
Yeah.
No.
A penny.
So,
a penny, you might
oh
say,
yeah, a penny. So obviously, it's not just giving us the money, because you can be taken away.
Okay.
All right.
So equality is not just about money. That money can be taken. Come and have a seat. This is Talkaoke. It's a free-form talk show. At the moment, we're talking about what's going to make us more equal. What's going to actually give us that sense of equality and respect. Come and join in as well. We've got Ron, we've got Lily, we've got Chef, we've got Derek, we've got Jay, we've got Ellen, Ventris. We didn't get you on Mrs. What is it?
Mrs. Dasham.
Mrs. Dasham. And we got Chantel. What's your name?
Daniel.
And
Teresa.
I mean, are we getting towards a more equal society, or are we going the other way? That's what we're talking about at the moment. Chantel says yes, we are getting more equal, because things like the gender pay gap, where women getting paid less than men, is actually being closed. We're highlighting it, but some people on this side of the table say no, it's not happening.
The NHS.
Yeah.
All right. If you go to the NHS, if I present as me at my age, and they look at my records, they go by my ethnic background.
Right.
That already is a mistake.
Yeah.
Because I lived in America. So you look and you say, oh, her parents are from Jamaica, so therefore she should take this tablet. There's no guarantee that tablet will work.
Okay.
Yeah. So therefore, you're going biased. You're biased against me based on my history.
Okay, so there's some prejudice going on. Let me just bring in, I'll come to you in a second. What do you think? Are we getting more equal?
I don't believe English people are prejudiced.
What's that?
English people are not prejudiced.
Okay, I mean, do you think, so you don't think there is really prejudice in...
Oh, of course there is some, but...
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's on both sides. It goes on both sides.
But how do we lose the prejudice? How do we
develop? I think being prejudiced as an English person, I think that's brought on by people that don't respect. I think it's brought on by people that don't respect what's there for them.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Hang on a sec. Let me just come over, because Ellen's been wanting to make a point. I'll come back to you. Oh. Yeah.
Okay, no, don't worry.
Okay, yeah, what was it?
Well, my son, right, has been friends with a coloured boy for all his life, and he calls me mum. So I don't see any problem. They call each other brothers. So they're brought up with good backgrounds, both of them, to not look at the bad side and the good side of people. Look at a person as a human being, and not at what colour their skin is or anything.
But I mean, I guess that's what we've been saying probably for the last 20 or 30 minutes. But
I brought him up like my own son, and he calls me mum.
Saying there's no prejudice in England. Right, but he said there's no English people that are racist. Yes, you did.
Okay, but I mean...
There's poverty all over the world. That doesn't make this place any better. By saying that.
So I mean... hang on a sec. Wrong.
What I was going to say now is that, of course, there's still prejudice. You know, we don't have equality here, but I think people are having conversations that they wouldn't have before.
All right,
You know, we're having conversations about sexism. You know, we're having conversations about race, ageism.
So we're starting the conversation.
And I think it's so important to have these uncomfortable conversations, because that's how you grow. You know, I think people should be open with how they really feel.
So I mean, okay, so we're talking about uncomfortable conversations. Let's make it. Okay, okay, we're all here, kind of like, what is the uncomfortable conversation that we need to have around the table that would be useful, not just for the sake of being uncomfortable?
Okay. I know that, like, you know, there's this, for example, because the lady over there, she mentioned the term, you know, coloured.
Yeah.
And I know that's not a term that people are comfortable with anymore, you know. So, you know, it will be interesting to know, like, why is it that, you know, you refer to, you know, your boyfriend as coloured? Maybe there's a reason why, you know, you call him coloured.
So you're saying coloured is not the right word to use?
Well, you know, no, but maybe to me it's not, but to you it is. You know, to you that was the right word. So maybe we could have a conversation as to.
Why don't you like the word coloured?
I think because you know, there's that whole thing, you know, back in the 1940s and 50s and stuff like that. Obviously, like. Non-white people are referred to as coloured in a derogatory way. You know, you had those signs.
So it's got that history to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's got that. It's got that negative connotation.
Right.
So, yeah, that's how I feel when I hear that. It brings me back. It brings that history.
Okay.
Yeah, it brings you. But maybe for you, it's a different thing. So it'll be really good to know.
The Asian man was a what?
Was the what?
What did they use to call?
Okay. Well, let's spread this out. I mean, you know, what is it? No, but hang on a sec. Okay, but I mean, what is? We obviously sometimes we get offended by terms, and you were talking about the N-word earlier on, and how
N-word is called nigger.
Yeah, and how rappers are using that.
If you don't use the word, you won't get rid of it. It's the same with the word rape. Now, out of all the 4-letter words in the world, isn't it funny? We bleep out, well, F-U-C-K, but we don't bleep out rape.
Right.
Now, why not? We don't talk about it.
Okay.
Do we?
But I mean, it's all. I think it's all part of the same question in a way. Hang on, it's getting a bit too heavy now. But I mean, what are we too caught up in the words that we use, and then we're not having the conversation? Yeah.
I think you know what, it is true.
Yeah.
You just need to say things as it is and not try and hide it.
Yeah.
And be open and honest, and that's the only way that things get better.
Yeah.
But if you sweep everything under the carpet and you don't address it, then how does anything change? Nothing changes. Like now they're talking about mental illnesses, women getting raped, and it's more on television, it's more in the media, and that's the only way it's going to change people's minds.
Okay.
You know.
So I mean, when it comes back to this question about whether coloured is the right word to use, what are we saying here? Are we saying that we shouldn't be caught up in this question? We shouldn't be, or we should be having the
So it should be so because we can get over it, because time's changing. There's a mix. People are mixing more nowadays. You see like Europeans with black people, with Africans, and you see Africans with Europeans, and Asians with black, and black with white, and so we need to get over it and move on.
Okay. So we need to. So thank you. Have you got a final thought before you go?
Shopping.
What's that?
We're going shopping. That's why.
Okay. I mean. Okay. Well, thanks very much for joining in. And you know, I think we're kind of chef. Yeah.
I want to go back to the education.
Yeah.
The better the education, the better life everyone has. I'll give you an example. When I was younger, I said to my little sisters, I wanted them to study law. One of them is a barrister, and the other one, she's the head of the Bank of America legal department.
Yeah.
We can get there. Education. That's why I'm so glad that you were doing your masters.
Yeah. So you're very proud, I can tell. Of
Everyone should have the opportunities, education, and they don't get it.
Okay.
That's the problem.
Okay. Come and have a seat on the table of chat. At the moment, we're kind of talking about. Actually, it's a kind of interesting, but quite. In a way, because we're talking about uncomfortable conversations, and are we having the uncomfortable conversations we're talking about when we're talking about things like race? Does it matter if we're using the right words? Sometimes people use words that people get offended by.
It calls me a cunt, and I'm going to swear it's the truth. I will look at that person very hard.
Yeah.
And I will never talk to them again.
Yeah.
All right? So it does matter.
But at the same time...
No. There's no excuse for it.
Yeah, but I guess we're not talking about that, but we're talking about more this thing that Ellen said, we had the couple that were talking about their coloured friend. Is that an okay term to use? But I mean, if we're closing down the conversation because
I mean, my thing is that to me, I find it uncomfortable, but I understand why someone would refer to as a non-white person as coloured, because there is a term called people of colour, so I can see why. But I just wanted to have that dialogue,
Yeah.
I wanted to have that sort of conversation.
Yeah. And then, in a way, that's the kind of uncomfortable conversation that we're having now. And what is the right way to have this conversation? In a way, is what we're saying. And I mean, sometimes we can use the wrong word. Sometimes
is there a wrong word? I mean, if you're not saying it with bad intention, then is there a wrong word?
So it's about the intention.
It's just like if you're talking about rape to you, you say that rape is an offensive term, but if you're talking, I don't really think it's
Let me get a final thought from you guys.
All these different perspectives are useful.
Okay. So anyway, we've got some new faces at the table. We've got a lot of people around the table. We don't know their names. Come and have a seat. Come and get involved. We've got Chef. We've got Jay. What's your name?
My name's Dave.
Dave, you've got a lot of support, Dave. And we've got Ventris, and we've got, what was it again?
Visitation.
What was it? Visitation.
Yeah.
We've got Elam, and we've got Chantel. What's your name?
Andy.
And
Isha.
We've got a seat here if someone wants to. And what's your name?
Teresa.
And we got, did I say Chef? I think I did. And then Mikey. And what's your name?
Nurali.
What's it?
Nurali.
Yeah. What was it? Lurali. Yeah, okay. So maybe we're sort of talking about these uncomfortable conversations. Are we having those uncomfortable conversations? If we're a bit scared about using the right terms or the wrong terms, is that how important is that? Different people have got different views about that. So that's where we are right now.
My old woman at home.
So yeah. What's that?
We're just too afraid to offend people. So we'll have these uncomfortable conversations within our home, within our friends, people who are familiar with us, but in a public space, but we're not actually talking to each other.
Yeah.
So, that's the main issue there.
Yeah. Okay. Have you got a view on this? You come down, what's your name?
Fizz.
Fizz, are we having uncomfortable conversations that we need to have? Do they need to be uncomfortable? And what uncomfortable conversation would you like to have? That's what we're talking about now. That's too big a question. Okay, all right. Too big a question there. But yeah, Andy.
It's a bit difficult to have uncomfortable conversations, like with strangers sometimes, because human beings, we want to feel safe together, right? Safety is an important thing.
Yeah.
So if we start going into very difficult and uncomfortable conversations, you don't know what the other person is like or the reactions. It's hard. There's fear,
Yeah. So how do we overcome that? How do we make people feel a bit more safe and a bit more?
Well, we need to have a space that feels safe together where we can actually express ourselves. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think the question we need to ask is, how do we come up with the idea that not everyone's like us, and everybody else is dangerous?
Yeah.
Who imposes these ideas on us?
Okay. Have you got an answer to that yourself?
You have to believe that humanity is a nice place.
Yeah. Okay.
Humans tend to be decent people.
So if you start off with that belief that people are generally nice,
you might find yourself surprised. The other thing you have to figure out is that it may be situations that people are placed in.
Yeah.
That make them unpleasant. I'll leave it. I've got to go.
No, you can't just throw that in. You've got to stay and listen to what everyone else says now. What's your name, by the way?
Carmine.
Carmine.
We're animals, just like any other mammal.
Okay.
But we're much more sophisticated than other mammals.
So we're good intention mammals.
We got the opportunity to have good intentions.
Yeah.
But we have to remember that we still are mammals, which means we have instincts.
Right.
That could potentially be dangerous. So those are the things we need to control, our instincts.
Okay. Carmine, I think you should stay because you've thrown that in, the mammal thing. Okay, hang on, adventurous. Let me come to you. You disagree with the mammal thing?
I hate that. I hate when men say, "Oh, we're all of the animal kingdom." Animals don't. Well, dogs do, but for the most part, they don't go around gang raping each other. All right. Some of the things that we do as human beings to each other, I tell you why. Because it's a very, very prevalent thing in this country
So
and
you're
in
talking
this
about
city.
sexual violence?
Oh yeah. You've got. What is that silly show, Tomb Raider, where they're running around in this ridiculous outfit, saving the world?
Yeah.
And is it made men like women any better and think that we're equal? No, they don't. They see us as sexual objects.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So that's a mammalian thing in a way, but yeah.
Very quickly. I've thought about this rape problem for many years, and many years ago I realized the solution was if you rape a woman, it gets cut off.
You think that a rapist should have their member cut off? Okay.
I don't think that would. I don't. No. You mean to say in Muslim countries you don't have rape because you cut off hands and all that?
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
It doesn't solve it.
Let me just, Jay, are you off? Are you going to give us a final? Hang on a sec, chef. Let me get.
Right?
Well, anything. Whatever you're thinking now. Whatever you thought probably the best comment was that you've heard.
When we had the disabled man here, this man in the I just think that they need to be respected.
Okay.
I think they get treated sometimes very badly. I don't like it when people call them names and things like that because nobody knows what position they're going to be in life.
Yeah. Well, we've got
this. It could be caused by an accident. It could be caused. So it's not fair.
We've got this visualization that Rick made of like a disabled person becoming a politician and getting into the money. So maybe that's the.
I think they should have one up there so they can have their voice.
Okay.
And they can support other people like them.
Okay. So I mean, I should just point out this is Talkaoke. We can kind of talk about whatever you want to talk about. Right now, we're talking about all uncomfortable conversations, and we're kind of doing that. We're going into it because I think we've got a safe space here, and we want to talk about these things that we don't normally talk about. But it's kind of up to you where you want to take it. Do you want to talk about this sexual violence and rape culture? Do you want to talk about respect? Yeah.
So the gentleman said if someone rapes a woman, he should have his genitals removed.
Yeah.
So what about if he's wrongly accused? How do you in some cases it's not proven, is it?
So put it in the deep freeze or something on appeal?
What if they were both drunk and they had sex and then the woman said, "Oh, actually I didn't consent to it," but are you going to prove that, or is he just going to wake up and go, "Right, let's chop your balls off"? Hang on, that guy's got to live with that for the rest of his life. Hang on a minute, is it proven? Is that the right punishment?
Okay.
Obviously, if it's a clear-cut case, I don't know. Maybe
clear would be clear
someone was attacked at night, maybe.
Yeah.
But then, what if it's a bit more? There's a grey area involved, so you can't just say every rape guy should get his balls chopped off.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, yep.
But the law says that if the woman is not in her right mind and she doesn't consent to it, then it is rape, whether you're under the influence of alcohol or not.
I mean, what do you think? What do you think about? Are we actually dealing with the problem of rape and sexual violence in the right way? But regardless of Chef's idea about the cutting off the genitalia, I mean, are we actually dealing with this problem?
I think it just needs to be clear cut as to what rape is and what rape is not. For a woman to be raped, say when she's drunk, and for a woman to have sex when she's drunk and then turn around and say she didn't consent to it, it should be looked at as something that is classed as rape because she wasn't in her right mind. But if she wasn't, if the man did it and she was in the right mind, if you get what I mean, then it's definitely is rape.
But do women kind of get drunk and then decide that they want to say that they've been raped when they haven't been raped?
Do you know what? Would someone else like to comment?
I mean, I don't know, because that seems to be go on.
I think what's really good now is that we're having this conversation about what rape is. I think a lot of people now, they know that, if someone's drunk, a woman's drunk or a guy's drunk, they know not to sleep with them because anything could happen. But the only thing with rape, I think nowadays with the internet, is that there's not an opportunity for like the trial to happen or them to be proven guilty before they're seen as guilty through the media. So I think that's my only issue with.
So the media kind of distorts everything.
Yeah, I think sometimes.
Okay,
yeah.
but I mean, is it clear cut what rape is, and are we dealing with the issue of sexual violence in the right way? Could we do a better job?
That's the question. Do you think that, as an example, was he an example? He was at first, but he's not now because he's been put in prison. But Bing Crosby, let's talk about people like him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bill Crosby. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been sentenced to prison. Yeah.
Well, what do you think about that? Do you think that's?
Well, he started off as a good example, but it's like people are starting with good examples in the famous positions, and then they're brought right back down because they've been exposed. Because there's lots of things hidden.
Do you think that's a good thing that these things are coming out now?
Yeah, it's good. Yes, it's good because it's the truth.
Okay, well, you haven't said anything, but
I just want to say it's not just all women who get raped. There's males out there too who need to come forward. Sometimes who are scared, like us. What is
stopping people from coming forward, men and women? Do you think? Is it?
I think they're embarrassed and shamed.
Right.
So there needs a lot of talk out there to be about it, and in schools, so children are aware of their safety too out there when they're getting raped. Because not long ago, a girl 15 got raped in the East End Park in school, so it needs to be opened in schools as well.
Okay. I mean, how do we deal with this problem? Derek, you come back to the table. Have you got a view on it? You're just supporting. Yep.
I think maybe at school we need to teach girls and boys to have confidence in themselves, to know what they want and how to say no, maybe not to feel pressure. And I think you mentioned the internet. I think there's so much stuff out there for them to see now.
Yeah.
That it's probably really confusing.
Why is that? Why does that?
At a young age, to see too much, it could be. They need to know how to navigate life, and we have to teach them, give them confidence.
Okay.
I don't know how though.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, so we certainly. I think we all know we have to have this conversation, but I think there's different views here, and we're sort of building a picture of all the different things that we need to do. We need to, I guess, define it and really make sure that people understand what rape is, but also there's a safety, there's confidence, there's... Yeah, what's that?
Why do you do that? Why would you have to define what rape is? Do you have to define what stealing is? Rape is the same as stealing. Did you know that? Did you know that? It's somebody's body that you said, I want to use.
Yeah.
It's the same as stealing.
Yeah.
So why do I have to define it? Huh?
Because I guess, yeah.
Those things where, we can continue to ask why, but the fact is it does need to be defined because, it was maybe 30 years ago, 40 years ago, rape was a legal thing within a marriage in the UK. So, we are on the journey of going towards, a better place when it comes to, sexual violence against women and stuff like that. But, I don't see asking why, where that's going to really get anyone.
We've got a point here.
I think part of the problem is that as a society we've kind of portrayed sexuality in such a way that is very abrasive and very much about using the other person rather than loving the other person.
Right.
So you have very violent pornography. If you look at Hollywood films now, it's very rare to find a film whereby there isn't a sex scene. Both television and film are becoming more and more dark and more sexually violent.
Why is that, do you think?
I think in order to maintain people's interest, Hollywood feels that it has to produce more and more dark and more violent work.
Why does that maintain people's interest?
Sad to say, but if the general public didn't have an interest in these things or buy tickets to see these films or order them on Netflix, Hollywood would be forced to change. The only reason why Hollywood and why the media in general creates this stuff is because there is a market for it.
Okay.
So
okay, hang on, let me finish this point. But let him finish his point.
They create a market by kind of No, I agree with you. I think it's disgusting.
Okay.
But I think too many people do want to see it, and that's why Hollywood as a multi-billion-dollar industry is flourishing.
Okay.
You vote with your feet and you vote with your dollars, and we're not doing that.
Okay, so we're talking about sexual violence and how to deal with it, and we've come up with lots of different angles on this, from the question of having more of a conversation with it. It actually started off with, like, why are we not having these uncomfortable conversations? And now I think we are, and in a way we're getting more comfortable with it. But there's a question about, in the media, the way that sex is portrayed is not about love, but about kind of use and abuse, which is, what's your name?
Michael.
Which is Michael's point. But there's also this question about, are we really defining rape? Do the victims have confidence? Do people understand the question of safety? These are all the things that have come up. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of up to you where you want to go. We've got a new face to the table. What's your name?
Winston.
We've got Michael, we've got Jay, we've got Ventris, we've got Visitation, we've got Chantel, we've got Andy and Aisha. And come sit down, come and have a seat. What's your name?
Asokraw.
What's it?
Asokraw.
Asokraw.
Yeah.
Have you got a view on this?
Sorry?
Have you got a view?
Yeah.
What's your view on?
First thing, which kind of topic I don't understand.
Why don't you understand it?
No, which kind of topic?
Yeah.
This one. Yeah. Can explain? Which kind of topic today?
What's the topic today?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got the whole way this works. It's kind of whatever comes up, really.
Start there. Which kind of topic? Start. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we kind of. It's about, right now we're talking about sexual violence and how to reduce rape and sexual violence in England, and you know what our attacks.
Comfortable shoes and comfortable clothes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not racist. I was young myself. We all were abused. You know what I mean? But,
so it's about what you wear.
It's something, be careful what you wear.
Okay. Is it about what you wear?
No, be careful. No.
Okay, I'll come to you in a second, but let me go to Winston because he's just.
Yeah, I agree what this lady just said there, right? Young people, well, we have our opinions, you know. As a man, when I see a woman dress a certain way, of course I'm going to look.
Yeah.
So women have to take responsibility.
Yeah.
So women have to take responsibility for the way they dress, because sometimes you give the wrong message.
Does that relate to sexual violence?
Yes.
Okay.
Because that means young boys are growing up looking at women a certain way, and then they think that's all women are.
Do you think that objectifies women by wearing those? Okay.
So
Okay.
Yeah, I think that, talking about just on that subject he just said, young children, girls that go to school about between 15, 16, they dress a certain way. I don't agree with the way they dress. When I was their age, I had proper tights on. I don't like the.
We'll come back.
Hang on a sec, Ventures. Let me get one point at a time.
No.
Hang on, what? Can we just hang on a sec, Winston? Let me just get 1 point at a time, which means if you haven't got the microphone, please listen to what other people are saying, and let Jay finish her point.
I'm saying some of the young girls, the way they dress, they've not got the thick tights on. They've got the clear tights on, and the skirts up there. It's really, and they don't look their age, and they're dressing with the makeup on. But they are bringing attention to themselves. It's the truth.
Okay. All right. So. I'm going to come to you in a second, Michael.
But doesn't the school uniform say that they're a child?
Yes, thank you.
Doesn't the school uniform say that they're a child?
I mean, do you think the way that women dress... Hang on a sec.
I'm just asking a question.
Yeah.
Shouldn't the school badge say that they're a child?
Okay. But I mean, what about this question? The question that I think is on the table at the moment is, does it matter what women wear? Is it important when we're talking about the question?
No.
I'm going to come to...
9-year-old women have been raped, and they are not wearing skirts, little short skirts.
Yeah.
Rape is rape is rape. Don't tell me about any excuse. A man years ago said to me, and I will never forget.
Yeah.
You know what he's... No.
Let him just... Let just finish.
He said... Ventris, if you are lying beside me naked and you say no, there are just 2 letters. If you say no,
yeah,
even if we've been together all night, and if I say no, Anything else after that is rape.
Okay, so it doesn't matter what you're wearing. It doesn't, according to Ventris. Let me just come to Michael, and I'll come to you, Chef, and then back to you, Winston.
So I think, I do think modesty is important for both genders, quite frankly. But I will say that a woman is not to blame for what she's wearing, or rather, can I say this?
Yeah.
The fact that a man rapes a woman, okay, regardless of what she's wearing, is wrong. I don't think we should use the way a woman is dressed as an excuse.
But I think Winston's point wasn't just about that it's an excuse for a man, but it's also about the objectification of women and almost a self-objective.
I think sadly, once again, the society in which we live has given this idea to young girls that your power is not in your intellect, it's not in your character, it's not in your value is not in your talent. Your value is in how sexy you can appear to the opposite sex, and that is a destructive mindset to give a young girl.
Yeah. All right, I'm just going to come to Chef because he's had his hand up for a while.
And I would confirm exactly what Michael has just said. It doesn't matter if a woman is wearing nothing. She can walk around here with nothing. She is not going to be touched by any man.
Yeah.
And that's how it's got to be.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you're...
Yeah. Well, even the Christians know that King David looked out the window and saw a beautiful naked woman having a shower. And King David could have had any woman he wanted, yeah? And he picked that woman. And that woman was a married woman, you know? Yeah? So what does that tell you? That tells you the way women are being portrayed. And if you look in the music world, they're not singing anymore. They're making sexy videos.
Okay. All right.
Well, yeah.
Okay. All right. So I guess with Okay. Come. If you haven't got the mic, can I just say, if you haven't got the mic, please just listen, because this is really as much about listening to other people's opinions.
Hello, sir. I'm talking about the sex.
I'll come back to,
They said...
Winston.
Hello? We are talking about the sex, like a woman wearing this kind of clothes, this kind of It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
She wants like some kind of woman. But because of this, people, now a youngster is responsible to parents.
Yeah.
Teach them, all woman, your sister, like this way. Don't look like this wrong way. She can wearing any kind of the dress.
Yeah.
Yeah, you respect. It's my sister.
Yeah.
You can't go in the thing.
So it doesn't matter what women are wearing, they're still your sister.
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter what men are wearing.
Yeah. Okay. Does it matter what men are wearing?
No.
We're talking. At the moment, we're talking about. You don't have to get involved if you don't want to. We're talking about sexual violence. Does it matter what women are wearing? Is it irrelevant? Is there a point about kind of women self-objectifying themselves, or is our society objectifying women?
All right. Westfield. Westfield?
Yeah, let me turn it up a bit.
Has this store, and my husband took me there, and I walked out because it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's aimed at young girls or women who want to be young girls. Called, what is it called? Victoria's Secret.
Right.
Aimed at young girls, all want to be running around in pink.
Yeah.
Looking like they're 12.
Yeah.
And then we're going to blame the women.
Yeah.
Now, if all of the stores are selling these things, and interesting us to do pole dancing, I never heard of that.
Yeah.
Housewives are pole dancing.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't that?
And then what are you saying?
Isn't that them expressing themselves?
No, we're not. I don't express myself that way. That's ridiculous.
Okay, so we're all right. So we're talking about pole dancing now. Women wanting to do pole dancing. How does this relate to? Any interest in pole dancing? What do you think about women that want to do pole dancing? Have you got a view on this? No.
But what about the babies who get raped? you hear about, and young children, young babies, you hear.
Yeah.
Newborns get sexually assaulted in their homes.
Yeah.
And males will get raped, and males, when they go first in prison, they get targeted.
Okay. Mikey, let me just get a final thought.
It's not
from
all
you.
about women, it's about
Okay, it's
males
not just
too.
about women. I mean, is there something in our culture that's making that happen, or is it just the fact that we are mammals? Have you got a final point, visitation?
I say,
yeah.
God bless you all. Have a good year, have a good week.
Thank you. Okay, so, yeah, Michael. Yeah.
I think you'll find that this has got nothing to do with. This is not new to our culture.
Yeah.
I think if you look back throughout history, if you look at the Roman Empire,
if you
look at the Roman Empire, you'll see far worse things. You'll see and hear far worse things that happened and that were permitted in that culture way back. So I think the problem is deeper than the time that we're in.
Right.
I think the problem is human nature.
Do you think they did did they do pole dancing in the Roman Empire?
They had. I don't know if they did pole dancing, but I think they had.
Yeah.
They had temple prostitutes, and they endorsed abuse of young boys and all kinds of horrendous things in Roman society. So I'd say there's a problem in human nature that needs to be dealt with.
Okay,
it's far
so
deeper
about
than
human
culture.
nature. We've got a new face at the table. What's your name?
I was going to make one point. My name's Gabriel.
Yeah, well, no, say and listen to what other people have got to say as well. That's what it's also about, listening as well.
I'm 28. I mean, the point I wanted to make was I just sort of listened for a while and all this stuff about objectification. I think with mass media and the fact that now something that happens in Uruguay is projected like across the world. So what's happening is that things, like you said, that have been happening for millennia are now being, you can now see it wherever you are on the globe. And it's projected worldwide. So a problem that might be limited to one country is now an international issue. So when you see like the singers and actresses all acting out sexually, so that it's a massive global issue. I mean,
what's your view on how to sort of like move forward, or how to overcome this problem, if it is a problem in your eyes?
It is human nature. It's a case of, with a lot of people, it's flaunt it if you've got it, and the expectation is that the body is something that's almost a commodity, like anything else, like a watch or a hat or a shirt or whatever. So the point I'm making is maybe a bit less of that, maybe encouraging young girls to value what's inside rather than what's outside, all of that kind of thing.
Okay. So are we commodifying our own bodies? Yeah.
It is nothing to do with human nature. It is nothing to do with women walking around with nothing on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But what about Chef? But what about this question? And it's a separate question, and I think we've established this, of why women are doing, as Venture said, doing things like pole dancing or wearing very skimpy clothes. Is that a fair expression of their sexuality? Are they being kind of sucked into a kind of media sort of valuation that they're valuing their bodies more than?
As far as I'm concerned, those are aspects of art. People are doing dancing on the stage in ballet and so on. It doesn't mean to say that you look at them and think, oh, I'd like to rape that one. No. And those men need to have it cut off.
Okay. Right.
So I think sadly it is about commodifying human beings. So essentially what happens is these young girls will find out that young boys in their class are watching porn, and the women there are dressed a certain way, acting a certain way, and so unfortunately these young girls, in order to compete, are being pressured into performing acts that they feel uncomfortable with, or dressing in ways that make them feel that they are powerful. And so I think what we need to do is change the narrative to let young men and young women know that your power is not in your sexuality. Your power is in the fact that you are made in God's image. You have dignity, you have worth, just for the very fact that you're a human being and exist.
So it's about giving people other routes to power. Okay. I just want to say to anyone that's listening, come and get involved in this. What do you think about this? We're sort of slightly moving on. I'm going to come to Gabriel in a minute, but I think, Andy, you had a point. You've been waiting for a long time.
I'll go in a minute, but I just think all of these difficult subjects are... It's true that a lot of them, the problems come from, like we say, mass media, things being broadcast to us, messages being given to us, and us not having the possibility to talk amongst ourselves like we are now. Like, that's the trouble in society. We all pick up the papers, we all look at the TV, but we don't really get to discuss the issues ourselves, and that's what we need more of. And because when we do that, we can disagree with each other, but we, at the same time, we can learn by listening to each other. So I like this. Thank you for doing this.
Thanks for coming and sit down.
I
think Gabriel had a point.
End of the story, sex violence.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Because of first duty of parents. Parents.
What is the parents' duty?
Parents. They teach them.
Yeah.
This one is good, this one is bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing, they believe like a Christian, they believe like a Muslim,
yeah.
they believe in Hindu.
Yeah.
Does it make a difference?
Yeah.
But it give a priority. Teach your son. This is wrong.
Yeah.
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 They can wear any kind of clothes. Doesn't make a difference.
Yeah. Okay. So it's about the conversation you have with your sons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, parents' responsibility. Parents.
Okay.
And nowadays they can't believe in like a religion.
Yeah.
They can believe in a ghost. They can believe in everything, but they can't believe in a God.
Okay.
That's the problem. So teach them first. This is parent priority.
Okay.
It is the wrong thing.
Right. Okay. Gabriel, you've been patient there.
Yeah. So the point that this gentleman made was a really good one, and I'd like to just expand on it by sort of talking about the idea of like the echo chamber.
Right.
So it's this idea that we all only associate with people who hold our views, and that reinforces our views. So we don't ever encounter anything that challenges.
Yeah.
So I think with a lot of young people, it would be very beneficial if they were not forced, but encouraged nicely to actually have debates with people who hold the opposite view and to play devil's advocate and to do all that stuff. I mean, teaching debating schools would be a really good thing.
Yeah.
I think just that alone would expose them to other ways of living, other ways of being, other ways of seeing themselves, and that could really help. Because at the moment, I think a young woman who's trapped in this culture of this over-sexualized culture, her friends are all doing the same thing, and like you said as well, the men in the boys in the class rather are all reinforcing that. You take them out of that and show them a different way. I don't know, get them to live with the Amish for a while. That will set them straight, kind of thing.
Okay, so it's about the echo chamber. How do we escape the echo chamber? Winston, what was your point?
Well, one point I noticed since I've come to England is like they try to introduce sex education in school.
Yeah.
They showed us like how the sexual organs work, and they even showed us what's the interesting part of a woman's vagina.
Yeah.
But what they didn't tell us is that for you to have sex with a girl, you should be married.
Right.
There should be proper respect.
Yeah.
You know, there's certain things they didn't tell us.
Okay.
So they left you with this open mind that you just go out there, see a nice girl, have sex with her, it's a normal life.
Okay. It's sex education, teaching the right things. Should you be married? Should you have sex before marriage? Have you got a final point?
No, but I think everyone's made some really good points. I think the thing about, you were saying about the commodification of women and things like that, what's interesting is what impact it has on men. I don't think we ever talk about that.
Yeah.
And I, from my perspective, I'd like to know about that. Like, I know.
What would you like
women,
to? What exactly would you like to know?
Well, the damaging effect for them looking at, like, not being able to see females as people. Like, I think that's damaging to both of us as well.
Okay. All right. So we're talking about, I guess, the commodification of bodies. Have you got a final thought, Andy, before you go?
I think it's an interesting thing. I guess commodification does change the male mind as well.
Yeah. I mean, are all of our minds being changed by this commodification of bodies?
I don't commodify men.
Yeah.
I don't. I see a man as a man.
Yeah.
And each man is individual. So all the stuff about it's human nature, it's not female nature, because I don't look at a man and say, oh, well, he's going to buy me an outfit to go to a dance.
Yeah.
Some cultures do, but I don't.
But do you think in the general society that bodies are being commodified?
No, I don't. I don't desire David Beckham. I don't care what he looks like.
Okay.
I really don't.
Yeah.
I think he has a silly voice.
Yeah.
So why would I get excited about him?
Is there anyone that you get excited about?
Yeah, but it's not David Beckham.
Yeah, well, we want to know. We don't want to know who you're not getting excited about.
I think.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Woo! Okay, I think.
Yeah.
We come back to that
David.
one. I think just to answer. This lady's point over here, I think the problem is that mindset, or watching those kind of visuals, does warp a lot of young boys and men into seeing women as just commodities for their pleasure, nothing else. It strips them of their humanity.
Yeah.
And let's be real, like, unfortunately, pornography is as much an issue for women as it is for men now. So men are also being commodified and used. Good. I'm happy for you, but you're not many. I'm not. No.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about you or your family. I'm talking about society as a whole.
Okay, so we're watching as a society. We're watching a lot of porn.
So people are Hollywood books are being read.
Yeah, thank you.
But see you later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the problem. I think just generally people are treated as commodities, and it goes beyond this issue. It's about work. It's about human trafficking.
Okay, so it's not
all
just
kinds
about
of things.
sex. It's
unfortunately, human beings are seen as commodities, and that's destructive.
Okay.
Because that's not who we're supposed to be treated.
Okay, Gabriel.
I think it's part of a trend. It's symptomatic. So all of these things you've mentioned, human trafficking, modern slavery, it's all part of this movement that's happening, where we're just being told that, like, as I said before, the body is just another product. Sex is just an elaborate handshake kind of thing.
Sorry, Gabriel. I just want to get a final thought. Finish your point, but I want to get a final thought from Chantel. Yeah, sure.
Really quickly, we've all kind of got dollar signs or pound signs or whatever, yen signs above our heads, and I think it's just a symptom of that.
Yeah.
So the fact that you turn on a TV and see people who are just bodies acting out on stage, there's nothing behind that. It's just
it's all part of this general commodification that our bodies are given value, dollar values, pound values.
Capitalism applied. It's like capitalism applied to the human body, the human being.
Okay. Let me just get a final thought from Chantel, and then I'll come straight to you.
On the points that I've made, I just thought that everybody should respect everybody. Everybody should be given the opportunity to achieve all they can in life and not be held back, so that we can educate the younger generation. Thank you.
Okay, so let's try and make sure that everyone gets to achieve their full potential and what they can achieve. Okay, thank you. Let me just get your name and get your point. You've been listening for a while. Naz, what's your point? This is Talkaoke. It's a free-form talk show.
My main point is you can talk about what you want all day. It's getting worse. All these youngsters and this technology is making them mad, and it's going to get worse. So what we say, these young ones with the mobile, everything's on mobile, porn, the lot, this and that and the other. Have you not noticed since this technology's come out?
So you think
it's
it's
getting
the
worse?
technology that's to blame in a way?
The kids are having it easier.
Yeah. Okay. So and they're all looking. Are the kids looking at porn on these phones? So okay. Yeah. Okay.
I think they all do.
Yeah.
I think these teenagers more spoiled by all this technology. I know because I'm suffering myself.
Yeah. Okay. So is it the technology and the access to the Winston?
Because before, if I wanted to watch sex, I had to go to a shop, buy a magazine, buy a video, and I could watch sex in my house. Now I can go on my phone I just press 2 buttons and I can see anything I want to see.
Yeah.
So technology has got a part to play.
Okay, so you think technology, we just get access to this too easy? We've got a new face at the table. Maybe it's time just to quickly get a round of names. I know you're making a point, but because you've only just sat, because I want to sort of prioritise those people that have been listening, have just sat down. So we've got Naz, we've got Gabriel, we've got Ventris, we've got Jay, we've got Michael, Winston, Chef, and what's your name?
Teresa.
Teresa, and what's your name?
Richard.
Richard. Have you got a point at this moment?
What are you talking about?
Well, at the moment, I guess we're talking about the commodification of people, and we started off talking about sexual violence and what's the cause and the answer to sexual violence and rape. But then we sort of moved on from that to talk about how bodies both men and women's bodies have become commodified through things like pornography, through the media, and how do we escape that idea of like commodification of bodies? And I think that was Gabriel's point, and that's where we are. You know, people are seen with like a dollar value rather than seeing the actual person. And that's where we are right now, I think. What's that?
Rather than seeing people for who they are,
yeah, exactly.
They're looking at, like Kim Kardashian, she had her body done, so men are now looking at this, woo, and she paid to get that.
Yeah.
She wasn't born like that.
She's a role model for these youngsters.
Yeah.
Which is totally wrong.
Okay, so we've got the Kim Kardashian, and that's where we are. What was your point, Gabriel?
Yeah, transferring everything onto our phones, kind of living in this virtual world where sex is just like part of the spectacle.
Yeah.
So it's like, rather than...
Hang on, let's just hear what Gabriel's got to say.
Rather than it being about a relationship and it being about a real interaction between two people, it's just something that you see on a screen, and it becomes unreal. It becomes... so it's a lot easier then to
So it's a kind of distancing in a way. We're sort of distancing each other from each other.
Just like a war correspondent in a war zone behind the camera, it's the same thing, and then it becomes easier to get to engage in like high risk sexual activities and stuff like that, because it's all just imaginary. It's not quite real.
Yeah. What's the cure, says Ventris. I'll just explain. This is Talkaoke. It's a free-form talk show where we talk about really what people want to talk about, and actually what I found very interesting here is that we've got a bunch of people that really want to talk about really big subjects, and the subjects, difficult subjects, and we've gotten a long way with it. We've talked about rape, we've talked about sexual violence, we've talked about prejudice, racism, how to deal with racism, and right now I guess we're talking about the commodification of people. Naz.
Yeah. Everything's mobile and commercialised now, and all this technology. What happens when you go out for a meal? People, you can't even talk to your family or friends because it's the mobile.
They're all on the phones.
Distraction.
Yeah. Okay. So, you disagreeing, Richard? Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me. I'll just come to because
I've spoken a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Go.
A while ago, there was a gentleman over there that mentioned about parenting.
Yeah.
And he said that parents are to take responsibility to bring up their sons and their daughters, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But since I've come in this country,
yeah,
we used to have discipline in the school, and now somebody came along and screamed and said, you must stop that corporal punishment. It's teaching children violence.
Yeah.
So now they've taken away the discipline out of the school.
Yeah.
The children now feel they got power to do what they want.
Okay, so
the government needs to bring back the power to the parents.
Okay, so you think we should be beating children more?
I don't think. No, I'm not saying they have to beat them in an abusive way.
Yeah.
But discipline way, in education.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Because otherwise, children are growing up thinking I can be who I want to be. Even a policeman can't tell me what to do. My mother can't tell me what to do.
Right. Okay. So they're not.
That's brought a lot of horizon to children. Now.
Okay. Michael.
I think. Sorry. So, what was your name? Sorry.
Ventris.
You mentioned something. You asked earlier on what the cure was, and so.
Yeah.
I guess. I'm gonna say basically. Funnily enough, because it's funny enough. My view personally, I'm coming from a religious perspective. Yeah. Okay. So.
Cards. Sorry. Yeah.
So I think the problem is that we do have like broken mindsets and very flawed views, and very flawed desires, and they cause us to act out in different and destructive ways. And so my personal belief as a Christian is that Christ.
Look at that.
I'm not going to look at that. I'm going to finish my point. Yeah. My belief is that Christ came, Son of God. He came, he died, he rose again on our behalf for our rebellion, so that whoever chooses to follow him, he'll give a new life and a new perspective. And I think with that new perspective, you will view other people with love, with respect, with dignity, and you'll view yourself with love and respect and dignity.
But do we need?
That's my. But
what about before
belief.
that happens?
So I do believe that, you know, there are people who aren't religious who do have that mindset anyway, but I do believe that from an eternal perspective, and I believe even for here and how we treat one another and how we view sexuality, I do believe that a Christian mindset.
So almost a kind of like Christian revolution would actually help all of these problems. Let me just come to Naz, because you've been waiting a long time.
Yeah, my main concern is parents in this country. I'm born here, right? The government's spoiling them.
Yeah. So you sort of agree with this?
No.
Yeah.
Some children lie that their parents have battered them. I agree if you hit a child, but not. I'm against domestic violence.
Yeah.
But the point is, as a parent, you can't even hit your child because the law's there. And you see these young girls getting pregnant, getting flats, because they want their whole life, getting benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look at back home, the kids have got respect. They don't go beating up the teachers or the parents.
Right.
And they don't have all this technology, some of them in third world countries.
Okay, so
there is a lot of respect, but here they're mashing up the teachers.
So in a way, it's a kind of mixture of like a kind of legal framework that maybe overprotects young people or gives them rights that they abuse, I suppose.
I think they've got too many rights here.
Yeah, okay. And also that coupled with the technology. Okay, let me just come to Gabriel, because you've been wanting to...
I don't think that parental corporal punishment is really a solution.
Yeah.
I did this we're in a different time, and I just don't think it works. Culturally, some cultures it's traditional, and I don't see it working.
Yeah.
For example,
what do you think the problem with it is?
I think parents need to. You don't get taught to be a parent. It's something babies appear by magic, and you just expected to know what to do. And a lot of parents are very young themselves. Their mindset is childlike, and they're not equipped with the right tools to be able to raise children. A big part of the solution would be schools. I mean, I've advocated this for years now, that schools need to be getting involved with not just the intellectual stuff, more PSHE, and actually getting really in depth with that physical, social health education.
Yeah.
So not just the crap.
So like emotional side as well.
Yeah, teaching kids how to go out into the world and to be productive, responsible, successful adults.
The devil is in the world today. The devil is in the world today. These kids don't listen to their parents. They do not listen.
Okay.
When they're with their own gang. I'm not a young parent. I've got a 37-year-old. I've got 5 children. I'm not a young parent. But I find over the years, these kids have lost total respect. When you...
Yeah. I mean,
you can teach your kid. You can teach your child manners. But when they get into the schooling environment, if they haven't got a good brain, that's when it is.
Okay. Let me just come to Ventures, and then I'm going to come to Ellen, and then actually...
Well, I hate the term devil. I won't listen to the word devil. My dad was a minister, but he never, I don't believe in the word that there's a devil running around. We're doing it to ourselves. We're doing it to ourselves.
So you don't think think it's about devil?
No, I don't. No.
And why not? Why do you reject the devil
Because
idea?
the whole thing of devil and sin puts you against me, us against them.
Right.
All right?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
I guess the good against the bad.
If you go around running around saying, there's devil in her. Did you know a woman abused her a relative a few Christmases ago?
Yeah.
Because they felt that the woman was possessed by the devil.
Okay.
And they treated that woman so abominably.
Okay.
That in Jesus' name, there is no excuse for the way they treated her. All right.
All right.
So
I mean, you feel that there is a kind of devil. You feel.
Today, look at this destruction in the world, the wars, everything.
You think that's the devil?
No, that's a sign, right? That is a sign to come. When I was a little girl, my mum always used to tell me, oh, I'm going to die and this and that and the bullshit and all this, that and the other. And, the world's going to end in so-and-so date. Nobody knows, only God, when the world is going to end.
Okay. So what do we think? Do we believe in the devil? Do you believe in the devil? No? Yes? Okay, sorry. Ellen's had her hand up for a while.
I think...
Okay, can we listen to the person with the mic?
What was your name, actually?
Yeah.
Naz. I think what it is that sometimes I feel like we can get so caught up in negativity and we can look at the world and see oh my god, there's so much destruction, but there's always been destruction, even back in the biblical times. When you look at the Quran,
I'm not religious, I'm not
you're not religious, but even separate from religion, scrap that, there's always been negativity. But I think it's so important to have a balance in life, and there's so much positive and good things going on, and the young people are not all destructive and out of hand. There's a lot of really great young people doing good things, so I think it's always good to there's room for improvement.
Okay, that's a good point.
Let me answer that.
Okay. I think it's come and have a seat on the table of chat. Do you believe in come? Actually, what I'm going to do, because I've been trying to get out of this table for a little while, and Ellen's going to jump in, but I wanted her to have a final point, because in the middle I can't say my opinions. I've not said my opinions at all the whole time, and now Ellen is going to be in that situation where she cannot say her opinions because she's the person hosting it. I'm going to jump out and say my opinion. Okay. So we're going to keep this conversation going, but we're going to... Sorry, Gabriel, I'm just going to come out over here. Do you want to sit on there and spin around?